Hey guys, it's Freckles. I'm here to share with you yet another part of my life. But before we get into that, I just wanted to tell you that I'm really sorry again for not having made videos like I've been promising since October or whatever. I just really got busy with the holidays, didn't expect to be that busy. Okay, so let's just get right into the video. I'm gonna tell you about the time that I had a boyfriend who really actually inspired me to do art. And he was a DJ. So I really like this guy. We'll call him Will. And Will was a DJ, like I mentioned before. He was really good, actually. I don't remember actually like hearing any of his real music that he made from scratch, but he would constantly spend a lot of time on like Stickam and stuff. This was like back in 2012, I think. Just live streaming and remixing. He really inspired me. I was in a really bad art block at the time. It seems that people like to text me while I make videos. I was in a really bad art block at the time, and I just was always over at his house, and he would ask me to come over and just hang out while he, did a live stream of Stickam. And one day we had this idea that I would sit in the background of his videos and just make art. So I had gone down to Michael's and I picked up some craft supplies because crafts are a lot easier for me. They don't take a lot of thought, and plus it's easier to see in the background making crafts because it's like a 3D object rather than a two-dimensional piece of paper sitting down on a table, This one day I just started making art in the back of his videos while he sat there and would remix all of his stuff. Will was a really good guy, or so I thought, but the way that the story began was I went to a 4th of July event at his pool, not really realizing that it was his pool. I was invited by my friend Victoria. Hey Victoria, I love you. At the time, I didn't really realize that Will and Victoria had dated in the past and she still liked Will. I had gotten really drunk. Yeah, believe it or not, yoga teachers get drunk too. I wasn't a yoga teacher at the time though, but I had gotten really drunk, and the only thing I remember from this party was I was hanging out with Will as the DJ of this party, and he was showing me all the things that he does. After that, all I remember is adding him on Facebook because I liked him. And we got to talking and everything, and we ended up dating eventually. And Tori ended up getting really mad, and I feel really bad because I basically told her to screw off. Yeah, I'm not really the best person, and this is why I'm telling this story, because I don't want to make it seem like, oh, I'm a saint by telling all these story times about how horrible other people are to me. I basically told her to screw off because I liked Will. I continued to date Will. Tori and I stopped being friends. I didn't realize how much of a drunk Will was. Realizing at the very beginning that he would only do his stuff while he was drunk, his Stickam live streams, and then realizing that the only time he ever really wanted to hang out was with people, and it would always be drinking and all of that. And love makes you sick. And the crazy thing is I really only dated this guy for a month after having been in several really long relationships at this point. This is way after my very first relationship that I just made a video about. For some reason, I fell head over heels for this guy. And now I didn't want to admit it. He had told me, he got really drunk one day and I was taking care of him. And he had told me, you don't have to say anything back, but I just want you to know that I love you. And I know this is the first time me telling you, and it's not the most romantic scene, but I love you. And I'm like, okay. Because at this point I hadn't even thought about love. It was literally only about 3 weeks into the relationship at this point, and I didn't know what to think of it. After that, I kind of just thought about it, and I wanted to respond, but I wasn't hanging out with him. We had gotten in our first fight, and he stopped talking to me for a week. I was the crazy girlfriend slash ex-girlfriend at this point. I didn't realize that he was leading up to breaking up with me. I basically, like, even though he said, you know, we need to take a week apart and then we'll get back together and we'll talk, I was still, like, trying to call him daily. He wouldn't answer or anything. I would text him, you know, hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm still thinking about you. I know that, you know, we're not supposed to be talking, but long story short, I just really wanted to, like, hear his voice. And so, like, one day, and by one day, I mean our 1 month anniversary, he calls me up and he's like, hey, can I see you? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Oh, he's decided that today's a good day to, you know, stop not talking to me because it's our 1 month anniversary or whatever, and he wants to take me out to eat or whatever. So we, you know, make a plan to go to Denny's, and I meet up with him, and he parks right next to me, and I get out of my car, and he looks at me and I look at him and I go, happy 1 month. And he goes, oh yeah, happy 1 month. And before we even made a plan to go inside or anything, he like looks at me and he goes, look, I need to talk to you. I was basically drunk talking out of my butt, and I really don't love you, and I think it would be best if, you know, we broke up. And I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, I don't think that we should be together anymore. And I started crying, like tears streaming down my face, because I was gonna tell him in that moment that I love him. And, you know, tears start streaming down my face, and this guy, he literally looks at me, and I don't know what was going through his head. Maybe it was like a heck no, you know, and he just turns around, gets in his car, and drives away. I'm crying on my knees in the Denny's parking lot, and this guy turns around and drives away. I had to call up my friend and like have him come get me. I called out of work that day because I was not feeling well, and that was that. But the whole point of my story is, number one, I'm not a saint. Just putting that out there right now. I've had my crazy moments. I was the crazy ex-girlfriend. Number two, if something works for you to get you out of your artist block, then do it. After that, before Stickam died, I literally continued to work and do my own personal live streams on Stickam. And, you know, eventually I got too depressed and I stopped doing all of that, and I just really kept doing my art by myself. But the point is that I managed to get out of an artist block, and it wasn't because of him. Yeah, he helped me, but it was all because of me. I'm the one that got myself out of an artist block, and I continued despite the fact that I was broken up with and I was in a really bad depression at the time. I continued to do my art because I knew that art is what helps me get through being depressed. Anyway, this was another story that I really didn't write out, and it was a little bit more everywhere than yesterday's story. So thank you again for following through all the way until the end. I was thinking, even though I really don't have many subscribers, but I was thinking maybe I could call you guys my crescents. Take a bite out of that moon and become a crescent. Like, subscribe, give me a comment. Do you want to hear more about Will? Maybe I can tell you some funny stories about me and Victoria. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time.